If you build it, they will come. Now that's a ruckus crowd. You should be here. You should be here. Thank you, guys. Woo!
All right, I played that clip intentionally because I want to make sure you guys know that I am a Trump supporter. Now, there's a difference between a Trump supporter and a Trumpster, in my opinion. This is the way I define it. A Trump supporter is somebody that knows that President Trump is a man, that he'll deceive at times, that he'll fudge on truths, that he's not perfect. That's a Trump supporter. And that a Trump supporter knows we got to get Biden out. And President Trump is the man of our times. Okay. Now, I know Trumpsters and Trump supporters agree with what I just said. Now, get ready. This is the definition of a Trumpster. A Trumpster is somebody that thinks President Trump walks on water. He doesn't walk on water. Only Jesus did. A Trumpster is somebody that cannot hear anything negative about President Trump. They want to attack. I experienced that when some Trumpsters took down one of my videos when I mentioned that watch out in CPAC, there could be some rhinos. Now, I'm only saying that on video right now because it's pre-approved. I won't do a live stream anymore on YouTube because I get attacked by everybody because I am without an agenda. I just want the truth. So Trumpsters, prepare yourself. You're about to hear something negative about a Republican candidate that you probably think is the only one running against a Democrat. Here we go.
So Vaughn, since you're in Phoenix, I just have to ask you, I love going to you for all things Arizona, as far as politics go. Obviously, Senator Sinema out of the race. I'm wondering, how are things shaping up in that Senate showdown?
Well, we're anticipating seeing Republican Kari Lake right here at this polling location. It is the Arizona presidential preference primary day. Not that there's too much at stake here, but we intend to see her in person and ask her some questions. So now we're looking at a one-on-one matchup between...
One-on-one matchup? One-on-one matchup. Have they forgotten Sheriff Mark Lamb? The primaries are in August. That's when we decide in Arizona who's going to be running as a Republican against the Democrat. Let's not forget Sheriff Mark Lamb, they want to.
So now we're looking at a one-on-one matchup between Democrat Ruben Gallego, who is a congressman here from this area, somebody who...
All right, now it's time to sell the Democrat with a 10-point lead over Kari Lake.
Somebody who has been a notable progressive. He just left the Progressive Caucus here this last year. But when you look at polling, there's in a one-on-one matchup, Ruben Gallego has about a 10 percentage point advantage over Kari Lake right now.
Notice how they give negative information quite happily about Kari Lake.
When you look at the unfavorability ratings among the Arizona electorate here in the state, for Ruben Gallego, it's 26%. Compare that to Kari Lake, 49%.
49% unfavorability on Kari Lake in the state of Arizona. Can you see why they're talking about Kari Lake all the time and ignoring Mark?
Compare that to Kari Lake, 49%. At this point in time, over the course of the last 3 years, she has all but baked in her reputation here in the state. And as much as her and the advisors for her team want to talk about extending the olive branch to folks like the McCains and Doug Ducey and Karen Taylor Robeson, her former rival in the governor's race in 2022, the reality is that she's having a hard time winning over any of those folks. Of course, in the next 7 months, she's got a lot of ground to make up.
That's why the mainstream media is giving all the attention to Kari Lake and ignoring Sheriff Mark Lamb, who is still in the race. Arizona people love him. He's on the ground and he knows the issues.
But Arizonans have shown a willingness to vote Democrat, not just for president, but in the last 3 U.S. Senate races, and they could be on their way to a fourth, guys.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. And it is going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 6-7 months with Kari Lake's outreach to McCain voters, Romney voters, the sort of voters that are going to be necessary for her to win that race. NBC's Vaughn Hilliard, thank you so much for your reporting.
All right, let's get this right. The Democrats, the mainstream media, which are the same, want Kari Lake to be in there running against their man, their Democrat. Because let's face it, the media and the Democrats are one and the same. So they're going to push Kari Lake as hard as they can and ignore a candidate that can actually have a chance at winning against this Democrat. Let's not forget where the money is coming from for Kari Lake. It's coming from outside of the state of Arizona. It's not about you, Arizonians. I think that's how you say it. I'm new to the state. I actually am a resident, and yes, of course, I'm voting for Sheriff Mark Lamb. There's my Arizona flag. There's my American flag. And then, of course, where is it? Well, let me show you first. My San Antonio. Let me get it right. My San Antonio. Upside down. My San Antonio challenge coin from an ICE agent. I'm very proud of this. Is this not a big issue right now, people? This is Texas, Arizona. Hello. Sheriff Mark Lamb is on the ground. He's a sheriff. He knows what's going on. What does Kari Lake know? How many times has she walked the border? I don't know. But this gives me a little bit of street credit, doesn't it? That I was honored by an ICE agent while I was in Washington, D.C. I'm proud of you can tell I'm proud of that. And there's my Arizona rocks right there. Arizona rocks. Guys, it's never been more important. You have not seen me go supporting a candidate as hard as I am. I live here. I know the issues. I don't know nearly as many people as Mark does, but he's a good man. He deserves to be in Senate. This video deserves the views that it should get, but it won't get them because of the agenda. And it's obviously throughout Google and YouTube. I'm willing to risk a lot of hate to represent this man. So please vote for Sheriff Mark Lamb. If you're outside the state, which you probably know about Kari Lake, and this is kind of like, who's Sheriff Mark Lamb? Because she's getting all the coverage because they know she's not going to win. That's my prediction. She's not going to win. So we got a shot, Arizona, to get a good man who is running on the Republican ticket. I know Arizona has voted for a lot of independents and some Democrats. I know you guys lean that way, but let's look at the policies and the Democratic governor that isn't allowing the police or the sheriff's department to arrest illegal aliens that are inside of our country, inside this state. Do you really want a Democrat to win? So get Sheriff Mark Lamb in the primaries so he can fight for you against the Democrat that's going to do the same crap the Democrats are doing all the time. It's William Wieting from MustangMedic. Know that you're appreciated. Get ready for the next video. It's going to get hot.